Divine greetings, Masters. Very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. This is Madhu Soni welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English Group Masters. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your precious time, space, and energy with each other. Thank you, Masters. We are really grateful and blessed to have you all here, old and new. So, Masters, before we head on to the session and start our Swadhyaya and meditation, let us first join our hands together and pray to the Masters and ask for their guidance and their protection. And let us join our hands together, Masters, with great respect, regards, and gratitude to all the Masters, divine beings, ascended Masters, astral Masters from the highest realms, the Pyramid Masters, Crystal Masters, Masters of the spiritual realm, angelic realms, and the Masters who are our Siddhas, Gurus, teachers, healers, mentors, the Param Guru Mandali Masters, the Siddhas, and Saptarishi Mandal Masters, our great grandmaster Pitama Brahmrishi Patriji, Mahavtar Babaji, and all the spirit animals, spirit guides, archangels, angels. We are really grateful for all that you do for us, for all the amenities, services that and the protection that you provide us. Please help us connect with your consciousness. Help us align with the wisdom and the knowledge that you got. May we also get the same. Please help us align with the soul purposes and soul planning and align us with the highest timeline that we have set for our incarnations. Thank you so much, Masters. We also give our respect, regards, and gratitude to Mother Earth, Father Universe, Mother Nature, Sun, Moon, and the constellations. Please, Masters, help us connect with your consciousness so that way we may also raise our vibrations, consciousness, and also attain the knowledge and wisdom that you got. Thank you so much, Masters. Thank you. So, with that prayer, Masters, let us begin our session. Today we have Neeraja ji with us, Neeraja Erraguntla ji, and she is a toxicologist, a scientist as well, and basically a director. So, working also and homemaker also. So she has two children, Masters, a boy and a girl. Both are adults and working. So Masters, she has already done Swadhyay for Your Soul's Plan as well as now she's doing it for Only Love is Real. So the book that we are doing it is this one. Today it's chapter 19, which will be done by Neeraja ji. So let me share the
Quote.
the book details basically, of which page number we were going to do. So let me share that. One second.
Quick check, you're able to hear and see me okay, right?
Yeah. All good. Yeah, chapter 19, it is here by William Ernest Henley. Let me share the screen so that you can also, once she's reading, you also can see for a while and then she can take over. Okay, Masters? One second. Yeah. Here it is, Neeraja ji. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Namaste, everybody. Good evening, Atma Vandan. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Madhuji. So we start this chapter 19 with this quote from William Ernest Henley. And it's a beautiful quote, like all the other quotes. It goes like this: Or ever the nightly years were gone with the old world to the grave, I was a king in Babylon, and you were a Christian slave. I saw, I took, I cast you by, I bent and broke your pride, and a myriad suns have set and shone since then upon the grave, decreed by the king in Babylon to her that had been his slave. The pride I trampled is now my scathe, for it tramples me again. The old resentment lasts like death, for you love yet you refrain. I break my heart on your hard unfaith, and I break my heart in vain. And so I was reading this and trying to understand what the meaning is. And the way I kind of understood this is it's talking about the speaker is the spoke in this, the main character, he's the king in Babylon, and he had slaves. And in this particular case, he's talking about one Christian slave. and he took her for granted. He kind of trampled on her spirit, did not care for her because he was having that ego of being that king of Babylon. And he just cast her aside after he was done with any help that he needed or whatever he used her for. So he kind of felt that he bent that spirit, the pride of of that slave. And the myriad suns have set and shone, that is, many, many years have passed. And then this king of Babylon, to who this has been a slave, his hatred towards this person, his arrogance towards that person, his cruelty towards that person is now coming back to him as a scathe, like a knife that is going to harm him. And he says that that feeling of why I did that in that arrogant state, that resentment, it's like death, he says. Because he says now he's trying to understand, he understands the pain he caused to that person, but now it is in vain. So almost like sometimes we have these grudges against somebody, and if you don't let go of those grudges, they come to haunt you later. And that for you need to forgive and you need to ask for forgiveness if something happens. That's how I interpreted it, Madhuji.
Yeah, very nice. And it's like when I am actually looking into who is the king of Babylon, in the Christian Bible, it says, Christian Bible introduces King Nebu,
Mhm.
Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is the king. And in that 24th chapter of the book of the second kings, as the king of Babylon, who attacked the kingdom of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon at the time, and after attacking Judah, he made the then king of Judah, Jehoiakim, his vassal for several years. Anything it like anyhow, masters, it's like a different story. But here, basically, they are saying that they have seen a lot of sons. Basically, the pride was broken. You were a Christian slave. A lot of things are written here. So Neeraja has rightly said. And so, what happens is whatever ego is there in us has to be broken. We have to be humbled down, and the masters will make sure that you are humbled, because we have to be in that compassionate, kind state. We have to understand each other's pain. So, whatever we do, we incur karma, and we have to live that karma as well. So, that is what here had been said about this para by
Yeah, and
William Ernest Henley, right?
he seems to have understood what has happened, and his behavior was not right, and that he's learning that regret and things. But by the time he realized, he says it was late. But it's like a moral for everybody, for all of us, that if that kind of, if you
Yeah,
hurt somebody, then you try
yeah,
to heal out by asking for forgiveness. Otherwise,
yeah,
that hatred will come back to you. So
yeah. But also one more thing that comes to me is that, and then we can go into our Swadhyaya. So one thing that comes to us in with this poem is that once we break someone's heart, sorry, excuse me.
bless you.
Sorry, excuse me, masters. So once we break someone's heart, the time will come when our heart will also be broken by someone in the same manner or in a different manner, but will our heart will be broken, so that we learn that lesson, that how it feels to do something negative or lower vibrational or something bad to someone or breaking someone's heart. So whatever you do it with love. Whatever we give, should give it with love. That is the main theme, because karma has to be balanced. Experiences, when we get these kind of experiences or situations in our lives, we are learning our lessons, and that is the main criteria. That is why we are born again, incarnating again, and living this kind of life where our soul, or the graves where we must have been put or where we must have been burned. Like for Indian customs, in Hinduism, people, they have to burn the dead body. With Muslims or Christians, they have to put the dead body in the like earth to earth,
Wrong.
like as they say, they have to mix that, because the physical body is earth, as they say. So they actually put that in the grave. So that's what they are saying, that his grave has seen thousands of sun, myriads of sun. And this myriads of sun is also compared to, in the pineal gland, we do have this kind of sun. When the energy rises up, the with all the energy centers, the energy goes up into your brainstem. It reaches into the pineal gland, basically behind your ears, that there is a small organ. And when that DMT chemical is comes in contact with this cerebrospinal fluid, then it's kind of a electrical light is basically seen, and there are like thousand suns shining inside your head, and that is the light projection. Basically, you feel a lot of light inside your head. You start seeing only light. So anyhow, masters, let's not go into more detail there. Let's go into Swadhyay, what Nirjaji has told for us today. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Nirjaji.
Thank you. So we are at that point where we are back with Dr. Brian Weiss and his patient. At this now in this story, it is Elspeth, and so Elspeth has met with Dr. Brian Weiss, and she's in her state is she's very frustrated and sad. She says her new relationship with Bob, this guy, is had happened only for 2 dates. But if she's feeling now that Bob is trying to avoid her, and it's that even though they knew each other for a year through their work, he was very handsome, blonde guy, he was very successful, and they seem to have many common interests. But this Bob seems to be one who is not emotionally strong. He is having an affair with a married woman, but at the same time he starts dating other women, but he keeps his relationships very short because he either finds some fault with them, something lacking in the women, and then he goes with them for some time and then lets go. So it looks like this guy is very shallow, very superficial, and that he doesn't want to maybe even have a relationship because he's kind of comfortable that even if this short-term relationship don't work, his married lover, the lover that he has, who is a married woman, she seems to want him to back, and so he has somebody to go to. And that lady herself, her husband is very rich, but it's like a loveless marriage, and so she doesn't want to leave her husband because of the affluent, the nice lifestyle that she has, the wealthy lifestyle. So she wants to keep having this guy on the side, and this Bob is also not that strong emotionally, and so. Bob's has at times told Elspeth that she's different and that she's more intelligent than the other women he dates, more beautiful, and that they share a lot of common interests. But somehow, even though Elspeth in her head was feeling like, yes, we have something common, somehow she was not having that connection. She was not able to, it's like her heart was not right there. And then she was thinking, like, what is happening with me? And then she realizes she's thinking in herself, brooding over it. She's lonely, she's desperate for a man's love. And so she's listening to her head, and she did not heed the heart's warning. The heart was telling her, this guy is just taking you for granted, and not believe in him. But the 2 dates that she had, they seemed to be promising. In the first one, it was like a very romantic dinner. They went for a good movie. Were able to connect and have a conversation very intimately. They were at a beach side and they were watching the waves hit the beach, and the way the cool light was happening because it was a nearly full moon. So an extremely romantic scene is kind of portrayed to us. And even Bob is kind of, flirting with her and telling her that I could easily fall in love with you or something. But even when he was saying that, and the atmosphere itself was very conducive to them having a relationship, like she did, her heart was not in the right place. And then they had a second date, and it's a similar thing. They seem to have a good time. He's kind of wanting to take the relationship to a higher level. But after that, she doesn't hear from him, and it's like silent. She's trying to understand what happened, and he keeps kind of chasing, not giving her a right reason. He says that it's not that he has a change of heart, but he's just busy. But he was trying to avoid her. So Elizabeth kind of tells that to Dr. Weiss, and she says, why do I pick losers? what is wrong with me? Why do I always do this? I go and meet this person, and Dr. Brian Weiss is trying to console her, and he's saying, no, don't blame yourself. He's smart, he's handsome, he's successful, and so you may have no, don't put the whole blame on yourself. But heart of hearts, even Dr. Weiss is thinking, yes, this guy is a loser, and it's better that she finds about it soon. Because what happens is, Dr. Weiss is saying, I didn't say so much. He doesn't say that directly to Elspeth, because she's already very sad. She's frustrated in the first sentence, as we read. She was picking up losers. So he agrees with her, but he doesn't voice that out. In this particular case, this guy is not like a loser in terms of because he's successful, he's everything. He's an emotional loser. He's not having that emotional strength. It turned out that he could not leave the safety of his married lover, which he chose to be dependent and safe. And Elizabeth became the fear of his fear and lack of courage. But Dr. Weiss is kind of telling her, better now than later, he thought in his mind that Elizabeth is a strong lady woman and she is going to recover. So as this was going on, Elspeth is asking Dr. Weiss that if they have time to go into a regression, and Dr. Weiss says yes, but after they get into the regression, he kind of thinks that maybe it was not a good idea because this is what happens. So she easily goes into that state where in this time she's in this faraway land. It has all these rolling plains, the broad, flat-topped hills. There are many yak-like animals and small, agile horses. And the tents, they kind of paints it like, there were small, rounded tents and all. So it looks like they were a group of nomadic people. So they're mostly, you can think of them to be wanderers. They might be people who do hunting or raiding. So it is like a lot of passion, and it comes with a lot of violence because they are that nature. And in this particular case, her husband is away most of the time. The men of this tribe are often hunting or raiding. And when one time, when most of the men were out hunting or raiding, the enemy struck. So this enemy comes from a similar type of tribe that is coming from outside. They're coming on this fast horses in large number of people come, and they kill a lot of them. They kill her parents very cruelly. Then they also kill her baby. And then as she's saying that, she almost shudders, like as though her spirit is like just convulsing at the thought of all that gory things that she had to witness, all her loved ones, her parents, her mother, I mean her baby and all. But unfortunately she was captured because she was very beautiful, and then she became the property of the strongest of this invading horde, they call them, of this enemy warriors. And then she starts pleading. She's in agony. She's not going to see her husband again. Her parents, her family is completely killed in front of her. And these people are so violent, and they don't even care. They say that, no, you're not going to go. You're going to live in my tent. Maybe the leader in that, he's the strongest of the guy. And he says, you'll be my wife. And so she tried to escape from this place many, many times, but she's quickly caught. She also, unfortunately, tried to commit suicide many times, but those things were kind of avoid. Somebody comes and prevents her from committing suicide. And so all this, seeing all that has happened to her family, she unable to escape. She becomes like this hard soul. Her depression becomes so constant that it's like this smoldering anger kind of thing, that she feels like she has lost the capacity to love. And in other words, like, a plant that you don't give it any water or something, her spirit is withered. And she exists like in the body, but it was like as though she didn't really have a loving person like she didn't have it. She was very happy in her previous life. So Dr. Bryce, when he sees this happening, he tries to bring her back slowly, and he says, can you go back into the time in that lifetime? Forget these details for now and just see what happened. And the moment he says that, she looks very peaceful, because it was her childhood, her very early years. She was seeing herself growing up, laughing, playing. And also, she was also with this man who she would eventually marry. and they might have been childhood sweethearts, and he also was loving towards her, and she was at peace. And so she doesn't recognize him in the current lifetime, but when Dr. Brian Weiss kind of prods her to look more into the other people, she recognizes her current mother. But in this past life, that mother was her husband's mother, and apparently in that life, Elizabeth loses her mother at a young age, and so her husband's mother, or her childhood friend's mother, brings her up as her own daughter. And then she gets married, so she's loved, she's having a very happy life. This seems to be like the largest tent with flags, so they might have been the leaders or something over there. And then she's again very sad, and she says they killed her too. So now Dr. Bryce is asking, like, he's trying to get more information. Who are these people? Can you see where they come from? And she says that the structure, the features of her face and her family that she's seeing seem to have some oriental features. So it could be somewhere in Asia, in west of China. And so then Dr. Weiss tells her, okay, let's keep going. What else happened? And she says, after some time, she's become old. She's no longer as beautiful as she was, maybe not as attractive anymore. And so they didn't care for her that much, and they let her die. So she kills herself. But now as she's floating above the body, Dr. Brian Weiss is again gently asking her, so what do you see? Were there any lessons in this life? If there were lessons, then what were those that you learned? And then Elizabeth is now silent for a little moment. And then she makes a statement that I want to read because it's very powerful. Elizabeth was silent for a few minutes, and then she answered, I learned many things. I learned of anger and foolishness on holding on to anger. I could have worked with the younger children, with the old ones, with the sick ones in the enemy's town. I could have taught them. I could have loved, and they would have loved me back, but I never allowed myself to love. Because she lost her baby in front of her, her parents, her mother in law, like everybody was done. I never allowed myself to let go of my anger. So she was holding on to her anger till the last time. I never allowed myself to open my heart once again. And these children, she says, at least, the children were innocent. They were not the ones who came and raided. They were souls entering into this world. They had nothing to do with the raid, with the deaths of my loved ones. And yet I blamed them. I carried the anger even to the next generations. And this is foolish. It could hurt them, but she says, most of all, it harmed me. I never permitted myself to love again. So she pauses there and said, I had so much love to give. So that is kind of like that first story that we said, that the poem that we read in the starting, that hatred, that anger, the feeling of lost, and all that did not let her open her heart again. And so that lifetime was spent without giving any kind of love or receiving any love. So then she pauses again, and now she seems to be speaking from a higher source, as we have seen with his other patients. And it's like almost she's saying that it is as if we people who stop it, she says that love is like a fluid. So if there is a hole or a crevice, it fills up all those empty places on its own accord. As they say, sometimes if you're grieving, right, you go and give out something to somebody, it kind of helps heal the pain or the hurt that we have. And so she says, love is as we people who stop it, we create this false barriers like ego. And when love cannot fill our hearts or minds, when we are disconnected from our souls, uh, which consists of love, that's when we go crazy. So if you're not connected with that, or you don't have love in your life, you see a lot of old people, they're very sad because they don't have anybody. The kids sometimes forget them. They're all by themselves. And so Dr. Brian Weiss is also having a moment of realization. He's considering what Elsbeth said, and he says that I know that love was important, even the most important thing in the world. But Dr. Weiss continues, it had never dawned on me that the absence of love could cause us to lose our minds. This is like an awakening thing to him, that it would make us go crazy, lose our minds. And then he talks of a experiment that apparently was very famous. It was done by a psychologist, Dr. Harry Harlow, in which they took this doctor psychologist, he took these young monkeys, and he made sure that they were deprived, that they never got any loving touch or nurturing. And soon these monkeys, young monkeys, they became very antisocial, they became physically ill, and some of them even died. They could not survive intact without love. And so, that nurturing feeling that is there in a group or something. So, in this case, Dr. Brian Weiss, and that he's quoting about this Dr. Harlow, he says, loving is not an option, it is a necessity. So, it's like essential, like any other thing, it's essential for life. I turned back to Elizabeth. Dr. Brian Weiss tells Elizabeth, now go ahead in time. What have you learned that affects you now? What and how can the learning can help you to feel happier, more peaceful, more loving in this lifetime? And so Elizabeth is saying that based on the lessons she learned, I must learn to let go of anger, to not hold it in, to recognize its roots, and then let it go. I must feel free to love, to not hold back, and yet I still search. She says that she understands that she needs to let go, but she's again searching for this perfect person, right? Somebody whom she can love unconditionally, but always there seems to be some problem. So then she's but a little bit silent all of a sudden. And then it's like a different kind of a voice. It's much deeper. And the voice is much, the sentences are coming out slower. And the room gets very cold. And he says that he felt the same thing when Catherine was doing too. And now in this different voice, which is much deeper and slower, the words come out like this: God is one, she began. Slow, she struggled for words. It's all one vibration, one energy. The only difference is the rate of vibration. So, God and people and rocks have the same relationship as steam, water, and rice. So, this is so powerful coming from the masters. Even rocks, they are made up of the same vibration. Everything and all that is made of the one. And love breaks down the barriers and creates unity. That which creates barriers and creates separateness and differences is our ignorance, and you must teach them these things. So that was the end of the message. And at that time, Elizabeth was resting. And Dr. Brian is now thinking of his other patient, Catherine's messages, which were very similar to Elizabeth. And when Catherine was having the same kind of sessions, the room sort of feels cold, as though now you're entering into this other place where this masters talk. And so they kind of you see that some kind of wall, or however you communicate with them, it's different. And Catherine could relay these messages much as the room felt cold with Elizabeth. So then Dr. Bryan is kind of pondering on her thoughts, because these are profound, very thoughtful, very powerful words that are coming. And he says, healing is the act of bringing together, removing the barriers. Separation is what causes harm. Why is it so difficult for people to grasp this concept? Whenever you see this wars between this continuous, right? When we see countries fighting for each other, within the country, we are fighting on something, it makes you wonder why people don't understand that. And without love and healing, it is not possible to survive. Although I've conducted more than 1,000 individual past life regressions, Dr. Weiss is saying, and many patients, many groups, he himself only had a half a dozen experiences on himself. If you hear something in the background, my dog, whenever we talk among ourselves, she likes to talk. Shh. So he himself as a doctor didn't have much of these experiences. So he wanted to experience maybe some of the same feelings. So his wife, also a psychiatrist, she finished a course in hypnotherapy because she wanted to use those skills to help people as social workers. And so she conducted a few past life regressions. And so he's wanting to have the same session with somebody who's knowledgeable. And so he goes and asks his wife, Carol, about this. And so it's interesting that Carol is able to put him into that state of that regression, just like Dr. Brian Weiss did it with his patients. And maybe because he was able to get into that, because he has also been practicing meditation for many years, and he's able to go into that state very quickly. And then it was like almost like he was seeing himself as a young man. He remembers that from his past life that he was a wealthy Jewish family member. So it's in that same area, Alexandria, in Egypt, and it was around the time of Christ. And he says that the community somehow, there are these huge golden doors of the great temple in Jerusalem. And it says that his family was the one who sponsored those doors. And there's an interesting fact here that I was able to visit Jerusalem when I was at work. We had to go for a work meeting, and they actually took us to this great temple in Jerusalem. And believe it or not, it felt like one of our Hindu temples, right? With all the amount of silver and gold there, it was a very spiritual experience, kind of, you feel like you're in this place where Christ was actually brought there and put on the table. So he's like in all the temples there have this ornate work, very, very beautiful. And he says that as this young man, he had done many studies in Greek, and he seems to especially wanting to study the philosophy of ancient Greeks, especially the followers of Plato and Aristotle. Then he remembers one fragment of a life where he wanted to make his education more profound, more strong. So, in addition to his classical education, he also started traveling. And he says he went to some of these communities that are clandestine. He says that they had this mysterious sort of, they wouldn't share much with outside. So, almost like closed communities you see. And these were desert communities, and the caves of Palestine and north of Egypt, and each community was a type of learning center. Some They all had this mystical, and almost, he uses the word esoteric knowledge, that is knowledge that only a few people, it's not like the normal everyday language. It's almost like, when I was trying to understand a little more better, it was like almost something like quantum physics or all these things. These small groups of people had this knowledge, and some of these people were, maybe he says, they were essence villagers. And so when he was going all this and trying to learn about them as part of his education, so it's not just the books, but he also wanted to get some practical experience, he traveled very simply. He would just carry little food and clothes, and his family had money. And so wherever he would go, he would be provided a place to stay and food to eat. So his family had the money and connections, and so he was able to do that. He calls his journey about going and meeting was like trying to learn more. This, he calls it like a spiritual journey, and he found it very exciting, and he enjoyed his journey very much. And so, for several weeks along the way, from community to community, Dr. Brian Weiss, in his past life regression in session, he's saying, I was joined by a man who was about his age, who was slightly taller than him. And there's, at that time, I think he's talking about the way men used to dress. They had these robes, and they used to wear a cloth on their head. And this other young man who met him, he looked like he emanated peace. He was a very, like, you can see something. He seemed to be like a spiritual person. And they both studied together. But Dr. Weiss is saying that this other man was seeming to understand things more faster and better. And then later, they both would be camping by the desert fires, and the other man would kind of explain things to Dr. Weiss in that lifetime. But unfortunately, after a few weeks, they separated. He went to study in a small synagogue near the Great Pyramid, and the other person went to West. And many of the patients, including, it is interesting that all this is happening in that Egypt area. Dr. Weiss is making a sort of like a statement. Many of the parents, including Elizabeth and Pedro, had remembered lives in the area of ancient Palestine. Many have remembered Egypt. For me, as for them, the images seemed extremely vivid and quite real. So it's almost like you're doing this flashback and going maybe centuries ago, but still the images were very vivid, very clear, and where they felt like they're really real. So he could understand what was happening there.
Wow.
So that's where we end, Madhuji.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Neeraja. It was wonderfully done. Thank you for doing this chapter 19. I know it was little big, but you covered it very nicely and all the story. So really, it's the part where Elizabeth is being kidnapped by the horde of people, and the head of that horde is basically, or the tribe, takes him as a kept woman for himself, and she actually has that lot of anger within her because her baby died in front of her, because they actually killed her baby, her mother, and everyone was killed, and only the women were taken because to just use them for sexual pleasures. And because of that, she was having lot of anger, and definitely anyone would be in that place, if and definitely we would not allow ourselves to love anyone at that time. And when I was reading this, I really had tears in my eyes. It's
Yeah.
so stark
Yes.
detail. It's not easy. And definitely there are certain instances in your own life that come across when you read these lines, right?
Yeah.
Dr.
Uh,
Brian
it might
Weiss's.
not be as scary as that, and we still get angry, you
Yes.
know?
And I
Uh,
had like, oh my God. And sometimes we stop ourselves from loving anybody. We
yeah.
do that. And then later on, like as you enter spirituality and as you start learning, you start forgiving people, and then you let that go. And then you start loving them again, basically, unconditionally. And this is what we all have to learn: forgiving everyone, forgiving your own self, first of all, then everyone else, and then letting that, taking the lesson, but learning that, yes, you know, sometimes we don't even know why we are doing these things, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy. And so, anyhow, and then again, even Dr. Weiss is also uh, remembering all the vivid details of his own past life regression by his wife, Carol, right? So, vivid details. Let's see what the other
Stories.
stories are going to bring. Now we have only 4 chapters remaining, masters. It's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, I believe. Yeah, five chapters, I think, right?
But a good lesson for all of us that, sometimes we take it for granted why, I cannot forgive some person, and I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I try to uh, it's easy to tell somebody else, but to follow
Yes,
is,
yes, I know. Even I am telling the same thing. And I have done forgiveness for myself, for others, and I know how hard it is when those people, they come right in front of you and you have to talk with them. And then that is why I think it was a test for me also, for many things in my life. Um, Saying and doing is two different things, masters. But saying, believing, and living and applying that lesson, basically applying and living that lesson, is
it's
really
hard.
it just came to me that it just came to me, and I had to live this kind of life just now in this year, past year,
Yeah.
and I did it. It was
Yeah.
not easy, not
Yeah.
easy at all, but that's what you have to. And still, there might be some karmas, definitely.
Yeah.
Or there might be some balancing of karmas or learning lessons so that you can help others. That
Yeah.
is to These are the two things that will happen to you, masters. Because you are learning these lessons, you never know why these lessons are being read by you or you are hearing them, because there is some important lesson associated with it that maybe might be going to help you, or you are going to help someone. This might come. So always remember this lesson, that love is the first thing, that you should always start loving your own self first, and then start giving love to others. I know it is not easy,
Yeah.
but this unconditional love state has to be there.
and to let go. This morning, I was just chatting with my old friend from a long time, and she was telling me, "You still haven't," and she's not part of this group or anything, but she's spiritual. She
Mm-hmm.
goes to shamans and all, and she told me, "You know what? You are not letting go. You haven't learned your lesson." I was like, "Man, where are these words coming from?"
Maybe because she knows you, and maybe you were sharing with her the intimate details of
Yeah.
everything. So that's why. So that is why she must have said. And if she is, then definitely, maybe Neeraja ji, I know we have,
Yeah.
yeah, I know as a mother, as a wife, and as a, so many other things, so many roles we take care of. So definitely it is not easy, and we only share those intimate details with only our dear friend, not with everyone, you know. So you are very aware, I know you are very aware. And masters, I have met Nirja ji, so I know how aware she is. Many of our masters from this group who I met, definitely many people are very much aware, but every day we have to make this awareness, and we have to apply the wisdom that we are learning every day, and she is doing it. I'm not saying that, but there are certain challenges also in our lives, everyone's life, and we have to go through those challenges as a responsible parent, as a responsible person, citizen, wife, whatever it is. It's very, very difficult, it's not easy, and every day brings something new, right? Yes, Nina ji, go ahead, please. Yes, Nina ji, unmute yourself. Yeah. Unmute, yeah.
Yes. Hi, Madhuji. I
Hello.
have one question, right?
Okay.
Um, like sometimes we are unaware, we are angry with the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Then how to, like sometimes, like you forget you are angry at somebody, but in deep inside your heart, you still,
Love them.
know when the person comes all of a sudden in front of you or talk to you and it flashes back,
Oh,
right?
triggers. Yeah, triggers.
Yeah,
Yeah, that will happen. It happened with me, and I was
Mhm.
able to forgive. And that was a test for me, that Madhu, did
right.
you really forgive? Madhu, did
Hmm,
you really forgive?
right.
Yes, it was
I
that
mean,
to
like,
make myself understand that yes, I have forgiven, or is it out of ego that I am forgiving that person, or it was just not wholeheartedly. So it was a test, giving yourself to the other person, basically having that relationship between someone who had done such, I would say, anything that was not good. They did something and I was not okay with it. And then the point was, they are there in front of me. And um, uh, time and again, it will just sprung from your,
right.
that they have done this. Then the
Yes.
point was, Madhu, did you really forgive? So for me, it was my question, did you really forgive? So I had to let go of everything, all those details out of my mind, heart. It is not easy, and I know. But then coming out of that state and loving them unconditionally, doing the things for them unconditionally, and supporting them unconditionally, I did it all, masters. It was not easy. It was
It's
very
not easy.
difficult, very difficult. But to prove my own self, to prove that yes, I have forgiven, it was, for a part, it was being done by ego, that I have to just show myself that yes, I can do it. And yes, I
Right.
did it. But then at the end of the day, I have to let go. That feeling, that memory is always stays, that they have done something, that they have done something. It does not go away. But
Right.
coming from there and understanding that you have to let go. You don't have to ruin, and don't be rude, don't be irritated when they come with that
Mhm.
intensity. They think that yes, we have forgiven, but in our heart and mind, have we really forgiven? Yes, if we have really forgiven, that rudeness, that irritation will not come. If, just imagine, suppose me and you are friends, and suppose I'm angry with Neerja ji. How I'm talking to you, maybe I am not going to talk the same way with Neerja ji, because I'm angry with her. I'm talking very sweetly with you. But just imagine now Neerja ji is doing everything very sweetly. Still, I'm not able to love her, or not able to answer her in a very nice way. But now you started being rude to me. So once, twice, thrice, 10 times, I would say, okay, Neena ji, it's okay. I understand. But then what will happen? Again, you will do the same thing. Again, you did the same thing. Then will I be able to say sorry to you, or sorry, Neeraja, I can't talk to you anymore, or I won't be friends with you? We won't be able to do that because you were my friend. And later on, maybe maybe I might ignore you, I might just keep silence. That's all. That's what we can do with friends. But with somebody who is we don't know, and they come into our life and they did something bad, then what are we going? We are not going to forgive them.
Mm.
Just like our friends, we can't do that, the same behavior with the unknown person, because they have done something. For people, there are people in our lives who we love unconditionally. We love them, but if they do something bad, can we support them? Yes, we can, but maybe we might not trust them again. That is also so. And it's also called for, you should not trust also. Trust only when whatever the outcome is, you already know, your intuition will guide you. But trusting is very, like how they say, दूध का जला छाछ को भी फूक फूक के पीता है. It will
Yes.
happen. But coming up from this point of view that you have to let go, you have to forgive, and you did it. I did it all. Last year I did it all. So I'm not going to mention what, but you all
Mm.
understood what must have happened. But the thing was, it was not easy. And
Right.
but coming from this standpoint that yes, I have forgiven, I need to learn this lesson. This is a test that came in front of me. Why this came? Because I had, in my meditation, I had forgiven everyone. Forgiven
Mm.
all those people who did wrong to me, or who wronged me, or who hurt me. And this is a very important lesson, masters. Definitely, I can't just share all the details. It would have been much easier if I could have divulged all the details to you all. But I can just talk in cues or symbols only,
Right.
that sort. But I hope you understand.
Also,
Right.
what I've been understanding is that by forgiving, that hurt will not go away, but you
Yes.
will get peace in yourself.
Yes.
And
Right.
literally but it's that part to understand that you have to let go for yourself.
Yes.
And
No, I
so
have this wonderful example, answer for this, but I don't want to give that answer because saying this, like how Neena ji put it, what happens exactly? See, when you are forgiving anyone, that energetic space that was filled with that anger, hatred, or anxiety or fear, that energetic space is being basically now empty as you forgive someone.
yeah.
Now that energetic space, as it becomes empty, you have to bring in light, that I am ready to
Mm.
forgive, I'm ready to let go. That light is nothing but that emotion, that light of, happiness and joy, that if that person comes in front of me, I need to be unconditionally loving. I need to be
Mm.
unconditionally giving, and I don't need to give, like, bring that anger or irritation. Coming from that
Yeah.
standpoint that they are
That's
they
the
are that
point.
soul, they have done mistake, and there should be room for improvement, and I'm giving them that room for improvement, whatever they do. But now you also become intelligent, not
Mm.
dumb in front of them. Don't let
Correct.
them take advantage of you. That is what the lesson is, that if you have learned your lesson, don't let them take advantage of you. You can love them, you can work with them, but you have to be very careful, right? That is what the lesson is. So
Yes.
I got my
Thank you.
lesson while speaking.
Right. Like, as I said, I have forgiven, but when they come in front of me, it hurts.
It
I
hurts. Yeah.
remember all that thing.
It
Definitely.
But
triggers,
now,
right? Yeah.
right, like
So that
it,
is why they say forgiveness
yeah.
needs time. Forgiveness healing is very healing, basically, but forgiveness has to be done. So time and again, it takes years also to forgive someone. Every day you have to sit and forgive that person. It can
Okay.
take weeks, months, years. It happens. And that is why certain people do forgiveness sessions, certain people do forgiveness. And that
Mhm.
is why I always say, you don't need to go and do certain forgiveness sessions. You don't need to involve yourself. You can just sit with your own self, meditate, and just start forgiving every day. And then after forgiveness, after you have forgiven them, you also say sorry to them. but also say thank you to those masters because of that experience you learned your lesson, and then send them love energy. Always, daily, do this daily until you see a change in you and the other person. It will happen. It will happen. And this is a very beautiful example. Very quickly, I will tell you. There was a master who said something to me in front of everyone. And I'm like, I could not take it. I did not feel nice about it, but I left the group. I really left the group. And my main thing was, I have heard from that master doing that to lot many people. And I thought maybe I'm new, so I don't understand all of this. Okay. So I thought maybe it's like, maybe they really must have done something. That's why. But time and again, I would see this habit coming up and I would not like it. So I thought maybe, I know she's not doing okay, but then who am I to judge? I'm not the one. But then the same, and my masters, my guides were telling me to get away from that group, go away, don't stay here. And lot of messages were coming. I just overlooked everything and I was walking. But I was there in that group. Now what happened was, this time came that master now said something very harsh, and it was so rude. And that time I felt that no, she has a habit of this, because it came on me that day. So I felt that pang basically. Then I understood, okay, I had to leave this group. That is why my masters were telling me, go away. Otherwise, this kind of like how besti, besti hogi. So you will be insulted. And that what happened. So from that day, but then she was doing forgiveness sessions, a lot many forgiveness sessions, and then she came and asked me. So I said, no, not the time has not come yet. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Okay, I just told her that. But then later on, I had a dream with her in my dream, and she was helping me. So I understood that the time has come for me to go to her and offer my help if she needs. And then I spoke with her, and it was all okay. Now I don't have, like, I really don't. When I think about her right at this time also, I don't have any feeling. But that time, see, it has been like 3-4 years already now. But the other person who came into my life, and they were there in last year in front of me, every day they are there, every moment they are there. It is like it was not okay. But then I had to. So I took that stance that yes, I can do it and I will do it. And I will give them unconditional love. And they went with happy heart, happy mind. That was my main motto, my focus. I kept that focus and it was good. So focus is very important. What is your aim? And
Right.
forgiveness, yeah.
No, I like the point you said. We have to do forgiveness every day. You
Every
know, yeah, because what happened is, like, I have noticed now, since you're saying, our in subconscious mind, we still haven't forgiven them fully. So,
there are other
whenever
things. Yeah, there are other
little
details
things
that
triggers,
Mhm.
then it is impacting you only in the end, right?
Correct.
So best is do every day. Thank you so much.
Why sometimes some people do tell me why I'm sharing my life's example, my experiences, because when you have learned through your experiences,
Mm,
just like how our mothers tell us, don't go there, don't do that, you will get hurt. But I have learned these lessons from my own life. And when a person learns lessons from their own life, when they speak, it is real. And people, they hear that and they also understand that, yes, this can be done. That is why I share. Otherwise, really, nobody likes to wash their dirty laundry in front of everyone, right? The point is, it's not dirty laundry, but just letting you know. Anyhow, thank you so much, Neena ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sheelam ji, we can
Vandan,
go to meditation.
I just want to ask you,
Uh-huh.
when you say you have to forgive, but as Meenaji said, that when the person comes, the hurt comes forward. So doesn't it make you're trying to move 10 steps, but again you're going back because all that, the trauma that you have gone through
Mm-hmm.
pulls down,
Yeah, all the trauma would be.
pulls you down. Because when you
Yeah,
see
it
that,
does. It does pulls you down, but then the things that you have learned, you have to apply that, now. It will propel you forward. But if you let it go, that whatever you have learned, you are not applying that, What have you learned? Whenever I say that go and learn Ashtavakra Gita or read Ashtavakra Gita, he says that whenever a person forgives, if you really have forgiven, your anger will subside. Your anger, irritation will subside. And that is what is very important. Have you really let go? Did you let go fully? You will know in your heart. If that thing is in your mind, it's triggering you again, it's paining your heart and mind, and you still, that means
Not
we
let.
haven't forgiven.
Yeah.
So that is what he
As
said.
humans, I think sometimes we want them to acknowledge, thank you for forgiving. But my sister also was telling me that day, it's you who have to do it. Don't expect anything from them,
Yeah.
because it's in the end, it's whether they take it or not. From our side, we're doing it's I think the hardest lesson we, as an experience, we all go through, right?
And one more thing here, that the point is that if you really have forgiven, the lesson is, why are you living this life? Because you are living this life, because there was this lesson to be learned. This is the lesson to be learned, that you have to forgive that person, you have to be patient with that person, you have to be compassionate and kind, and also unconditionally loving. That is the lesson. What are we learning in this lifetime? Everyone. It is forgiveness, compassion, kindness, unconditionally loving, no hatred, no fear, and no feeling of guiltiness. That is why we are here. This is the baseline. Whatever you learn, these are the things that you are here to learn. And if there is certain times people, they do certain things, they test our patience. This is what we are here to learn, being patient enough to let go of all these things.
And like my friend was telling me today, until we learn the lesson, these kind of challenges keep coming.
Yes, until you are learning, like until, or basically every time these things will pop up, if you haven't learned your lesson. As soon as you have learned your lesson, as you are ready, these things will go away from your life. So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
thank you. Yes, Hillary, yeah, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself. Thank you. Yes, Hillary.
I haven't practiced now for over a year since my son died, but I also am a hypnotherapist. And I wanted to say that forgiveness is tricky in hypnotherapy too, but the point is to come to the place where you know you wouldn't repeat that. You wouldn't be hurt that way again. You wouldn't fall into that trap. You're older now, you've learned your lessons, and then that sense of strength, it gives maybe the possibility to see the other person in their whole humanity with all their weaknesses, with all their problems, and not to take it as part of oneself.
Beautiful.
So,
Yes. Yes.
Very nice.
Very nicely put, because yes, that is all, because you see that person, that yes, they might have certain things that are bad or negative, but there are certain good things that are there, and focusing on the positives, focusing on the positive, and whatever is negative, because the negative that is in them, that negative is in us also, basically mirroring effect. And that is what we have to learn and let go, and also understand we have to become positive by letting go of that weakness, and improving ourselves with all those weaknesses, because we also have the same weaknesses, same negativities, just like the other person. We blame the others, oh, they did this, they did that, and because of them this happened. But the point is, the negative that we are seeing in them is the negative that we also have. So improving that point, as a spiritual tablet master, I'm just saying, it's not saying, but this is the wisdom that has to be applied, that you have to understand that the negative that you see in the other, the thing that you hate that about the other person, that is the thing that you also don't like about your own self. So you have to understand that we have to improve that negative part in us. As soon as we remove, or we start learning, or we start improving ourselves, that negative turns into positive, and that person goes away from our life.
so for instance, working with somebody who has a difficult marriage, where there's no physical abuse, or you would say it was terrible. It was just
Mhm.
a lot of tensions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm working with the woman, and you get her into a good point where she feels herself energetically secure,
Mhm.
and then ask her to go to the place where she usually sits with her husband
Mhm.
and imagine him there, but she's staying in her own center. So she's not. So there's a lot of things like that in your life where you could be triggered.
Correct.
So you're in your strong state in meditation, and then you imagine you're there with that person and you're still in your strong state, and you can see what that feels like. And so, anyway, those are
Yes,
some.
beautifully put. In the morning, I had this session today. My morning, for India people, it would be yesterday's night. I am powerful and blessed. I am blessed and powerful. That video, if anybody can go and see and check, it is really wonderful. It's about that, yes, I am powerful. Being in that grace, feeling the blessings that you are full of blessings that are given by the masters. Don't leave your center. Be in that grace, be respectful. Don't let go of that, goodness in you, positivity in you, and start from there. Work with good words, with positive words towards anyone. Don't leave your grace, being respectful, whatever the other person does. I know you feel ignored, there's a tension in your life, but then when you understand, when you actually start maturing and forgiving people, you understand that, it's no point using even words sometimes. Sometimes ignorance or ignoring that person is also very good, because they are not ready to understand at this point, and you are giving your 2 cents. That 2 cents are also going to be wasted. So how about keeping your peace and being positive also? Anyhow, masters, that will take another
Mhm.
more time.
Again,
So
going back to our soul's plan.
yeah. So
It's like,
anyhow, but thank you, Hillary, for putting your
yeah, that's
wonderful
awesome.
points. And good to know that you are also a hypnotherapist. I'm really
Yeah.
it's good.
I was just thinking of finding a hypnotherapist, so maybe.
Me too, me too, and she's right there. Anyhow, masters, thank you so much, and thank you, Neeraja ji. So, Neeraja ji, would you like to take meditation today?
Next time.
Okay.
I'll have to be in a
Masters?
separate room without my dogs, otherwise.
Okay, no problem. So, masters, with let's go and start taking our positions quickly. Drink some water before you sit into meditation. It will be very less guided meditation today, not too much, because the time is already, we just have 30-40 minutes, 30 minutes actually. So let's do not only 30 minutes, we have only, uh, 10 minutes, I would say. But I will do 30 minutes of meditation. So let's go into meditation. Crisscross your leg, clasp your hands and fingers into fingers, keep them on your lap. Close your eyes, take a deep in breath and slow out breath, invoking Mother Earth. Wherever you are sitting, feel the body's area that is covered. Basically, you are covering Mother Earth. What area are you covering? That area is being connected to Mother Earth. If you are putting your feet, your legs on the floor, feel the soles of your feet connecting with Mother Earth. Let your toes reach out in the form of roots and connect with Mother Earth. Basically, grounding your energies from head to toe, inhaling and exhaling. Every inhalation tells you that you are love, you are peace and happiness. This is your center. Who are you? You are that graceful being, lovable being. You are loved by your own self and by your masters, guides, guardian angels. You are supported, protected, and cared for. Our masters, guides, and guardian angels are kind to us. As we progress further, we inhale and exhale this beautiful breath of ours, which brings us so much life force energy or the pranavayu. In Hindi, we call this life force energy as pranavayu, which fills our cells with lot of energy, higher vibration. It also fills us with lot of peace, happiness, and joy. As you are inhaling and exhaling breath, you are entering into a peaceful, serene, calming state. Relaxing your head space and letting go of any thoughts. As you inhale, you're relaxing your jaws, your facial expressions. As you are inhaling, you're relaxing your brainstem, your neck, your throat, your voice. And as you progress further, you relax your shoulders, hands, the spine. And along with your spine are the energy centers and energy meridians. Inhale from your tailbone. Let this air that you breathe in feels as if your spine is inhaling from your tailbone going up into your crown. Feel that upliftment of energy in your spine. Let it come into your brainstem and go into your pineal gland, which is behind your eyes, inside your brain. As you inhale, you feel top of the world. The feeling is blissful, very peaceful and calm. As you inhale, let your lungs expand. Bring your focus onto your heart and lungs with every inhalation. And as you let go of this breath, let go of any heavy, dense, dark energies out through your breath, letting go of any dark emotions, any dense thoughts. Let each and every breath be your guide. And now take this breath into your abdomen. Follow your gut, go down into your abdomen, into your stomach, into your reproductive parts, and now go into your large intestinal region. And from down there, again you proceed downwards. So inhale again, feeling a lot of expansion inside your abdomen, as if each and every cell is receiving this inhalation, this expansion. Every cell becomes joyful, happy, and all the organs are working efficiently. Again, follow your breath. Inhale. Let this air that you breathe enter your hips, waist, thighs. Focus on your knees as you breathe in. Feel the healing energies healing your knees, going down into your calf muscles. Feel the vibrations of every breath, going down into your ankles, heels, the soles of your feet and toes. Every time you inhale, your cells are feeling joyful and happy. You are in a different space altogether now. This blissful feeling that your body receives helps your body to be in a calming state, a peaceful state. Your cells are becoming happier and joyful. Now ground your energies as you go and breathe in. From head to toe, you are becoming one, connecting with Mother Earth. So inhale and exhale. And now slowly, as you connect with Mother Earth, you feel her energies grounding your energies, making you stable and grounded. Whenever you feel anxiety, fearful, or you feel that you have lost your cool or balance, then and there remember the stance. Remember to close your eyes for a second, or even if you don't close your eyes, inhale a deep, deep inhalation and feel your feet grounding in the form of roots into Mother Earth. Always remember, this is your center. Bring yourself into the center to feel grounded, stable, and inhale and exhale. And ground your feet into Mother Earth as if it's going deep inside Mother Earth. And yes, you can do it. You can keep your cool. Don't lose your balance. As you are grounding your energies, Mother Earth is telling you that you are full of strength. You have lot of energy. You can keep yourself cool. You can ignore people's words. And you can come back to silence. Or maybe move away from that place if you feel your energy field is being harmed or you're losing your balance. Don't stay in that room. Don't stay in that place. Or just connect with this exercise that you are doing, this process of grounding your energy. Now again, come back onto your third eye. Focus and inhale deeply. And now let go of your identity, your name, fame, losses, gains, anything. Let go of any attachments. Let go of family's responsibilities, things that are attached to you, things that you like, hate, any people, situation, events. Just let them go. And let the trauma also go. Inhale deeply, exhale softly. Inhale deeply, exhale softly. Again, come back to your third eye. Keep your focus intact at this place, but not with tightness. You have the ability to keep your closed eyes vision on this place, on the third eye region. Just keep yourself aware of how you are inhaling deeply and how you are exhaling softly. Now, no words to be said. Just inhale and exhale. And let go of the separation between the breath as well. Sometimes meditating in silence can also heal us. It brings us lot of peace. So be in that peace state, masters. Just being aware that we are going deep into meditation. Keep all your focus on your third eye. Inhale and exhale. For how long can you keep your focus on your third eye? Try to expand and let go. Just inhale, exhale, and be aware. My dear masters, now very slowly and steadily, let us all come back into our body's consciousness. With great respects, regards, and gratitude to each and everyone who is present here, to all the masters, guides, guardian angels, and all the meditators. Thank you so much for this wonderful, short, and sweet meditation. Very slowly, as you come back into your body's consciousness, try to straighten up your spine, your neck, your head, and slowly feel the silence. Remember this awareness. Remember the depth of this meditation, and very slowly start feeling your body from head to toe. And clasping your hands and keeping your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Very slowly, you may all come out. You can open your eyes beneath your palms. Let go of your hands. And now, hug yourself and say this to yourself. Take a deep inhalation and say this to yourself. I am love. Within me and around me is love. I love myself. I love everyone unconditionally. I forgive each and everyone. I have learned from my experiences. And I'm grateful that I got these experiences, because this shows that I am ready to move forward in life, in soul progression. Something good is happening, and it's very great. This is a miraculous journey. And in my life, there are a lot of miracles. My masters, guides, and guardian angels are protecting me, supporting me, and guiding me. How can I go wrong? Because the masters are here, continuously guiding me. I am happy, healthy, and vibrant. And I prophesize this, that yes, I am happy, healthy, vibrant. I am a blessed soul. I'm a powerful soul. I'm a healthy, vibrant, loving soul. I'm a loving human being who is being supported, acknowledged, respected by everyone. I'm a blessed human being. I'm a powerful soul. I'm a healthy, happy, vibrant human being. And same goes for the soul. Whatever I do it with love in all my workings, in all my doings, all my receivings and givings. Love, peace, and happiness always rules, always works. And I am love. I love everyone. Thank you so much, Masters. Thank you. I hope you all had a wonderful silent meditation today. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm just so happy. Your happiness is actually coming here. I can see your happiness. Even I was happy as well with all the silence. Wow. Yes, Neeraji.
We love these affirmations. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
You are in the flow and it is so good. So good.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Neeraji. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Because I feel when I'm saying this, it actually comes from my heart. I don't
Yes.
know how it comes, but thank you. Thank you
Hmm.
so much, Deepak ji. Long time no see to Deepak ji. He had
And we
come.
love you, Madhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeraji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love you, Neeraji. Love you. Love you, everyone. Yes. Thank you so much, Sarita ji. Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you, Homa ji. Thank you to everyone, Sheelam ji, and who has written. So thank you. Thank you so much. So, Masters, thank you, Neeraja ji, as well. So let's end the session. If anyone has any experiences to share, please go ahead and share. I know everyone, it's already late, but thank you so much then. So, Masters, let's end the session. As you know, yes, one more happy thing. Tomorrow is a holiday. I am not going to take the class. So you can smile, everyone. But tomorrow, it's my psychic abilities class day. And anyhow, Many other masters will be meeting, but Saturday, Sunday, yeah, meaning tomorrow and day after tomorrow. These 2 days we are not meeting up, okay, for meditation, for Light and Soul meditation group. For other classes, like the paid classes that I'm taking, we are going to meet. So masters who are there in the paid class, we are going to meet and do our own meditation. But for English class, our USA time, Saturday and Sunday, there is no class. For India people, this would be, for English class, it would be Sunday and Monday, right? So I hope you all are good with that. And thank you, love you, and have a big hug, Romaji, you also, everyone. So thank you so much, masters. Let's meet on after 2 days with this group. Okay, we have now 5 chapters remaining with this Only Love is Real. So let's see how we can finish it up. Will that take another week again, or we'll be able to finish in this coming week? Let's see. So keeping our fingers crossed, okay? And yes, because it's a wonderful book, we definitely would learn something more. So happy day to everyone. May we all be happy, healthy, and vibrant. Let's meditate together every time, also individually with our own self, wherever you are at your own home or wherever you want to do. Do your meditation by your own self. Also, meditating together with the group's energy is wonderful. Teach meditation to others, awaken others, but do your much needed inner work every day. Forgiveness every day. Sending loving energy to everyone every day. So love you all, masters. Have a good night. If you are from US, if you are from India, take care. Enjoy your day. Have a wonderful day. So thank you. Love and light, masters. Thank you.